When she saw this book, she was blown. Like, she was blown. She looked at it and said, "This is good. You are organized." Like, her head was swelling. Like, she looked at it, like she was looking at it. She was looking, where did you get it? I said, I got it on Amazon. Hi guys, good afternoon. My name is Missy. Welcome to my channel. It's nice to meet you all. Now, let's dive straight into the video. Having a home bakery in UK is as simple and as straightforward as the name sounds. A home bakery. It is not that complicated. I don't know why people think it is complicated. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to put you through the A to Z of how to do this stress-free. So let's dive straight into the video. I'll start by saying that even though it is not as difficult and as complicated as people make it seem, getting this results, getting this 5-star results is like you're going to put a lot of work into it. You have to do your own part to be able to get this. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you're going to get to that point. First things first, the first thing you need to do, you need to go and register your business on Company House. You can do that through an accountant. I did my own through an accountant. She helped me register my business on Company House, and it was not so expensive. It was really straightforward. And after that, you need to do this. You need to do your, I don't know if you can see this, your level 2 food certificate. There are a number of sites that you can take this from. I did my own on Safer Food Handler. I don't know if you can see it. I actually have two. I did this one, food safety level 2. I did it with Citation. That's the name of the company. Just make sure that whatever company you're choosing to do your certification from is CPD certified. I think that's the most important thing. And it has to be valid. Before you can use this, it has to be valid. I mean, it's valid for 2 years. I think you have to renew this every 2 years or so. So that's the next thing I did. After registering my business with Company House, I went ahead and then I did this. I also took this food allergen and tolerance training. It's totally free. It's free. I did it with Food Standard Agency. So you can go to their site and do and get this certification done. It's something you can do within 1 day. The courses, I think, is about 5 or 6 levels. Once you complete and do all the exams, you get your certificate and then you can print it out immediately. This, I know I've seen a lot of videos where people say it costs between £25, £20. I really am not sure, because where I work was where I got mine and the company paid for it. But I know it's not expensive. It shouldn't be more than £20 or £25. You can verify that. Just check online for that. Then I went ahead and got a public liability insurance. It is very important because you're going to be serving the public, right? And you want to make sure that you're insured. Just in case somebody eats your food and gets sick, God forbid, if they're going to sue you, you have an insurance that covers for it. My insurance cost me £123. It's going to cover me for this year till next year, for a whole year. Yeah, and I got it with what's the name of the company again? Unfortunately, this my book here doesn't have the name of the company I got it for, but I will list the name of the company down in my description box. So I got it, my public liability insurance. The next thing I did was I have this, I designed it myself. It is like a safe way to transport your cake. So it's just a way to put information out there on how to transport, store, and keep your cake safe. And it's a way of letting the customer know. So it's called risk assessment. Yeah, so you have to do your risk assessment plan. You have to have your menu where you're going to list out your allergen and make sure that your customers are informed of any allergen or how to keep their food safe from contamination after collecting it from you. And then I have this allergen sticker I got on Amazon. It has all the 14 allergen, and then what I do is I just pick the ones that is relevant to me. Whenever I want to send out a cake box, I just tick it and then I paste it on the box. I also have that, so I kept the record. Now I have my suppliers list. So these documents are just things you need to put together in one place, because when you're going to have your inspection that will get you this, these are the things the inspector is going to really focus on. It's not about how clean your kitchen. Yes, they want to see your kitchen clean, sparkling, beautiful, all that, but 95% of what the inspector is coming to see is the things that are in this folder. So I have this, my suppliers list. I got this page off this my Safer Book for Better Business. I got the book on Amazon. We'll come back to it. So I got this page off it, and It has a template of your contact, your supplier's name, their contact, their email, their phone number, their address, what you buy from them. So it's just good to have this list so they know where you're buying it from. They have this thing about buying all your products from UK. So make sure you're buying your things from UK. If you're shipping anything from abroad, you have to let them know. I don't think they have a problem with that, but they might just want to see the ingredients involved just to be sure that it complies with their own health or food and safety stuff. And then I have list of my recipe and everything they contain, the processes, they are all listed here because the inspector is interested in knowing how exactly you prepare your stuff. So in this list, I have each of my recipe listed down with the allergens contained in each of them, with how to store, how to storage instruction, and all the ingredients included in making each of these products. So for example, now this is my vanilla. I wrote ingredients: sugar, flour, eggs, butter, and so and so and so. Allergen advice: it contains milk, egg, wheat, and so and so and so. Storage information: keep in the fridge, best consume within 3 days, allowed to come to room temperature. So I did all this for all my recipes, and of course the hygiene inspector would want to see that. And this came with this package again. It is see, putting your allergen information out there can never be too much. It is very important that at every point of contact with your customers, they are being informed about your allergen, because it is very, very important. And that is one of the things that will impress the inspector that is coming. How well you let your customer know about the allergens contained in your products at the point of ordering, even when you are giving them their invoices, at the point of collection or delivery, you're stating it out there, the things that are included. You are letting them know, oh, this and this is what is in this product. So if you know you have allergies to this thing, please do not consume it. So it is very, very important, because people die of allergies. So this is also an allergen list with the name of the dishes. For me, my red velvet cake, it's listed all the allergens that are present, and then you under it you write if this red velvet has celery. I wrote no, because my red velvet doesn't have celery. If it contains gluten, I wrote yes, it does. It contains eggs, I wrote yes. Does it contain fish? No, it doesn't. So these are things you have to fill for all your recipes. And then I have this folder where I keep all the receipts of everything I bought. It's not just for inventory purposes, it's not just for accounting purposes. Keeping your receipt is very good for traceability purposes. We're going to come to our traceability book. Very, very important. So when you fill your traceability book, and for example, if somebody eats your product, you are able to trace what you used to make that product. Then you can use it to trace where you bought it from. And then when you want to go to the supermarket to complain, oh, this and this and this, you have the receipt to prove that I actually bought this product here on so and so date, and this is the receipt from you guys. So that is the reason why I keep my receipts. Very important. And then this is just the list of 14 allergens in the UK, and it comes with that package, and then I just kept it here and this. So that is all my documents. It is very, very important. Take note of each and every one of them. I'll list it down in the description box below again, so you can know. And then I got this off Amazon. It is called the Home Baking Business Food Hygiene Record Book. Just search on Amazon. I'm sure you'll find it. I can't remember. I think I got it £10, £11. I can't remember. This book is a lifesaver. Now, the inspector was really impressed by this book because, for example, the first page has your cleaning schedule. Your cleaning schedule, yes, I pronounced it well. So they want to see how well you're keeping your place hygienic. They want to see how you're cleaning the place, if you are complying. Do you have like a system you use, a system in place that you're following? And this right here shows that I do. So what this book has here is surface equipment, floor, sink, microwave, what's this? Oven and utensils, fridge, freezer. So it's going to ask you, do you clean after every use? Do you clean after every shift? Do you clean daily, weekly, others? So for example, let's take my work surface. I clean after every use, so I tick it. I clean after every shift, I tick it. I clean it daily, of course, tick it. Weekly, of course, if I clean daily, I already clean weekly. How do you clean? The precautions you use. Do you use goggles to clean it, or you use gloves? I wear gloves when I'm cleaning. I wrote it here. Now, the method for cleaning. So for example, me, for my work surface, I remove obvious food debts. I wipe with damp cleaning clothes and warm water, just to, in case food or anything has spilled on the table. That's the first thing I do. And then I spray a disinfectant on the surface, leave for 5 minutes, and then I wipe again and leave to dry naturally. So this is what I did for all my cleaning items, all the items I clean. You're going to pick how often you clean them, how the method you use in cleaning them, you write it down, what you use in cleaning them, whether you protect yourself by wearing gloves or goggles or all that. So you write it here. So the instructor is even going to ask you, how do you clean? What is the contact time between the time you spray your disinfectant and all that? It also has my opening check. These are the things I do before I start any shift daily. It has my closing checks. These are the things I do before I close daily. So for example, in the morning when I start my shift, I check if my fridge is working. I check my fridge temperature and note it down. We are coming to this. I check if my oven is working. I check if I'm wearing clean clothes and if I'm wearing clean apron. I check if all the areas in the house is, if there's any pest or anything, I check. I check if hot water is available for my hand and equipment washing. I check my hand washing, and I wash my hand and clean supplies. Home equipment safe with no breakage. I check if all my equipment are safe to use and there's no breakage. And then ingredients check in date and post contamination. What this means is that I check all my ingredients if they are in date. If anything is already expired, this is the point where I check and I know if it is expired or if it has passed its use by date, and then I trash. So that's the next page, the opening and the closing check. I check if all my baked goods are covered, boxed, stored safely. Used ingredients, I have to return them to the fridge. Ingredients used by date, I check if there's any food that is out of date, I dispose them. Food preparation and storage cleaning area. So where I use in preparing the cake and all my storage, I make sure they are clean. I empty any waste, my bin, I clean them. I clean the floor, and again, I check my fridge temperature and note it down before I finally call it a day. So these are the things I do. Another thing, I did this on my own. It is for my deep cleaning. There are some items I clean daily, but I have to deep clean, even if it is once a month. So those items, I have listed them here. Okay? Deep cleaning. I do behind the equipment, fridge, oven, vents, windows, lighting, fittings. I deep clean them every week. So here, what I do is that every week when I deep clean, I note it down, just so I know that I have done it. So for the 1st of May 2025, I did this, I wrote it, did you deep clean? Yes, and I signed that I did. So this is a detailed login to show that I'm actually doing what I claim that I have been doing here. So there are a number of things I deep clean. For example, my appliances, my fridge, my oven, my dishwasher, my microwave, my freezer. I deep clean them every week. My fridge temperature probe, what I use in checking my fridge temperature, I check it. I check my probe every 4 weeks. I calibrate every 4 weeks. My food storage area, I clean it every week. Equipment storage area where I store my dry ingredients, I clean them every week. So every 2 weeks. So most times when I do this, I come here and then I log it in. I log the date that I did it, so I can easily know, because I had a lot of things in my head. I might be asking myself, did I clean last week? I can't remember if I cleaned last week. There's no problem. It is here. So if I did not clean, it will show me here that I did not clean. So what do? I clean. So now it has this page, which is the food allergen risk assessment. Like I said, I cannot overemphasize how it is important for you to allergen. You cannot overemphasize it to your customer. So this is the risk assessment. We're going to assess if I'm actually doing these things the right way. So for example, there's a question here. It says, are you aware that you must notify customers of your allergen contained in your products? Things to note. You must give customers allergen information whether or not they ask. You have to tell them. You must notify customers about allergen present in your produce, both at the point of sales and on delivery. And think of how you will do this. So I just wrote it down. Yes, I have my allergen information printed out here. Remember, I told you that I have this allergen sticker that I put on all my boxes. So this is how I inform my customers at the point of delivery that this and this and this is in this product you're collecting from me. So do not forget, if you have allergies to these things, don't consume it. This is for the point of delivery or pickup. But at the point of sales, that is when they are ordering. On my menu lists, for example, this is my menu list here. This is my menu list, just in case you've forgotten. This is my full menu list, which contains all my recipes, all the flavors I offer. So you can see here again that homemade vanilla, all the ingredients that are in this vanilla cake is listed here. The allergens in it, I've written it here, contains egg, milk, wheat, so and so and so. How to keep it safe, storage information is also listed here. So I have the soft copy of this page, and this is what I send to people at the point of sales. So if you're buying anything from me, you're asking me, okay, can I see your menu? This is the first thing I send to you. So by sending this menu, there's a part where my allergens are listed there. So I've written it here to let my inspector know that At the point of sales, I inform them, and at the point of delivery, I also inform them. Then the second one, do you have training on food allergen awareness? Of course I do. Remember, I have these certificates. So that I have training on food allergen. So I wrote it here again. I answered, yes, I do. I have a training on food allergen awareness. Then the third one, are you aware of which allergen are present in the ingredients you use? Now, the list I showed you is my menu. Now, for all those menu, there are ingredients. So, for example, let's assume that this is an ingredient in producing my strawberry cake, for example. Now, these ingredients, am I aware of the allergen that is in these ingredients? And I answered, yes, I check every label. So for every ingredient you buy, check all the labels and be sure that you know the allergens that are in the ingredients. For example, your egg, your flour, your sugar. Yes, check if it has any allergen. So I say, yes, I check and I am aware. Yes, I have allergen checklist that I share with all my customers at the point of the... So everything I wrote here. Then the fourth one, do you have a storage system to prevent cross-contamination? So your inspector is going to ask you a question. How do you, because this is a home bakery, remember it is a home bakery. This is the model of the bakery I operate. It is a home bakery, which means I cook for my family. That's an example of checking for cross-contamination. So she asked me, how do I do my cooking to be sure that I'm not cross-contaminating while producing my cakes for my customers? And I have a system. You have to have a system. System that works for me is I cook just once or twice a week. And on the days where I cook, I make sure I don't bake on those days. For example, I don't bake on Sundays. So I make sure that majority, 98% of my own cooking is done on Sunday. But in the UK anyways, you cannot be cooking every day, you get, because I have a full-time job and I run a full-time home bakery business as well. So what I do is I cook my soup, my food, my stuff for the week on Sundays, and then I package them and put it in the home fridge. So good for me, I have a fridge majorly for the bakery and I have another fridge majorly for home. It's not necessary you do. You can have just one fridge for both and divide it. A part of this, maybe the upper part is for the bakery and the lower part is for home. So what I do is I save my food for the week, and then anybody that wants to eat during the week just microwaves their food or pick your takeaway and take to work. Yeah, so that is how I prevent cross-contamination. Another thing I do to prevent cross-contamination is I do, first and foremost, is listed on my page. And when my inspector asked me, do I cater for allergens? I already wrote it there. I do not cater for allergens. So I always tell my customers, this is a kitchen that deals with a lot of allergens like that. So even though we work hard to prevent cross-contamination, your product might just still contain this. So if you have any allergies, do well to inform me before you order, or don't even order at all, because I don't cater for allergens. So that is my risk assessment. It is also in this book. And then my diary. So weekly checklist, of course, cleaning schedule, everything that we've discussed in the first page. Every week, this is where I check. Have I done my cleaning? Have I done my opening and closing check? Have I done my extra check for the week? Previous week, was there any issue? Did I deal with it? Do I have cleaning supplies? Do I have disposable clothes and paper towels? Have I checked my use by date? These are things I need to check every week and tick if I did. And then here, if I bought anything this week, I'm going to note it here. So for example, this week, this is the only thing I bought. You're going to write where you bought it from, the date you bought it, list all the ingredients you bought from that supplier here. If you bought another thing during this week, this is 5th of May to 11th of May, I'd have written it here, supplier date, bought all the ingredient that I bought from that supplier, I'll note it here. Now, this is also one important page. This book contains this page. This is for week 5th of May to 11th of May, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So list all the things you did. For example, if I baked on Monday, I'm going to write it there. I baked red velvet cake, I baked vanilla cake. Did I have any issue? There was no issue. Everything went on smoothly. Then did I clean? I take it. Did I do my opening check? Did I do my closing check? You can see how detailed this book is. There's no inspector that will see you filling all these things and will not know that you are organized, that you know what you're doing. So my fridge temperature, I have a fridge thermometer. I'm going to show you that. I have a fridge thermometer. So I check in the morning, my fridge is 4 degrees. They usually recommend, they will ask you, what degrees do you think your fridge should be on? It should be between 2 and 5. It shouldn't go above 5. If it goes above 5, there's something wrong with your fridge. It's that you need to close it and leave it, don't open it, so what you have inside does not get spoiled and contaminated. And at the end of the day, you check again and fill it here and sign. On the days when you don't do anything, you don't have to write anything. Like for example, on this Friday I didn't do anything, I dashed it out. Even though I still cleaned and I did my opening check, But even if you don't do anything, like you're not baking on that day, so you don't really have to do opening and closing check if you're not baking on that day, according to my instructor. So, and then at the end of every week, I usually write, for example, this week ended where all my customers picked up their cake and all of them sent in positive review. Not a single issue was recorded, and then I signed. So this is what I do every week. The next week, I did the same. This week, you can see I bought a lot of things. For example, I went to Aldi on the 16th of May. I listed everything that I bought on that day here. I went to Lidl on the 17th of May. I listed everything I bought. Asda on the 13th of May. I listed everything. Bargains buy on the 16th of May. I listed everything. So again, my opening and closing and cleaning check. What I did on those days if there was any issue. My fridge in the morning, my fridge temperature in the morning and in the night, and then I sign. So you're going to do this consistently for the next 4 weeks. And at the end of the 4th week, this is the first 4 week, and at the end of the 4th week, you're going to do a 4 weeks review. You're going to 31st of May, I did this review. If there was any issue throughout the month, this is where you list it. I didn't have any issue, so I wrote no. What did you do about it? Everything went smoothly, so for the whole month. So for example, if you had expired products, you say, for example, I had my milk expired, I noticed, and what did I do? I made sure I trashed everything immediately. And in the last 4 weeks, did you do your cleaning, updating? Okay, it's going to ask you, do you think you need to update your cleaning schedule? My cleaning schedule is perfect, so I wrote no. Do your opening and closing and extra check needs updating? Mine is perfect, so I wrote no. Is your allergen information up to date? Yes. Have you checked your equipment and utensils? Are they good? Yes. Have you calibrated your temperature probe? Yes, I've done. Are all your ingredients in date? Yes. Do you have adequate cleaning supply for the next 4 weeks? Of course I do. Any issue you need to be aware of for next month? No. So this is what you do from the first of each month to the next month, and then the cycle continues. So that is what this book is about. It is a very, very good book, and I would recommend you get it. Very easy, just search it on Amazon. I might just put the link on the description box below again. So that's all for this book, and then she was done with this book. She was impressed. I was happy. I was looking at her face and I was doing my joy dance. And then this book, when she saw this book, she was blown. Like, she was blown. She looked at it and said, "This is good. You are organized." Like, her head was swelling. Like, she looked at it, like she was looking at it. She was looking, where did you get it? I said, I got it on Amazon. And I was able to do this because, thankfully, where I work, we field traceability record at the end of every sheet. So somehow I brought the practice into my life. So you see, there's always a win-win. So I got this on Amazon as well, individual customer traceability record for home-based food businesses. So this book is a lifesaver. I love this book so much. It might look cumbersome, it might look like you're doing a lot, but trust me, it's not so much. If you're following it, you will know that it is not as difficult as it seems. And I'm going to take this, for example, as much as you think it is. It's a book that will give you a sense of knowledge, like you know what you are doing. Like, nobody will see this book with you and not give you a 5-star. You will get 5-star because it's so detailed. Let's just go straight into it. So I'm really not going to show you. Okay, I'm just going to cover, for example, this customer's detail and all that, an address. So you're going to have your customer's name, the phone number, the email, and their address. For example, you have that, and then list of the ingredients you use to produce this customer's product. So this customer bought from me on the 3rd of May and she collected on the 4th of May. I wrote it here. What did she buy? Red velvet and vanilla cake, written here as well. What did I use to produce it? I used flour. For example, the flour, where did I get it from? That's where the supply is. I got it from Aldi. The batch number of that flour, this is it here. The best before date, the day it expires, May 2026, you write it here. For your sugar, you do the same thing. Where did you get it from? Aldi, the batch number here. Sunflower oil I got from Sainsbury. I wrote the batch number and the expiry date here. And I did this for all the ingredients: flour, sugar, sunflower oil, eggs, stock, butter, pasteurized egg, white vinegar, milk, baking powder, baking soda, vanilla extract. These are the things I used to produce this customer's product. I bought them from Aldi, Sainsbury, Lidl, Amazon. I wrote everything here. The batch number and the best before date is also written here. Now, how do we link this to your receipts? If I have said that this flour, this is the batch number, this is the date I bought it, and I bought it from Aldi, now I have a receipt to show that I actually bought it from Aldi. So in case this customer comes back to me and say, "Oh, I ate this cake and my stomach is paining me, this and this and this," I can easily say, "Oh, what could be the problem?" And I can now trace all the ingredients I used to produce that. Where did I buy them from? Where is the receipt that I actually bought it from them? And you see, like, half of my problem is solved already. So with this book, you are more like secured, because when a customer comes to you, you can easily trace what the problem is you know. So I do this for all my customers. You can see anybody that buys anything from me, I have a list of all the things I used to produce, the batch number of that stuff, the best before date, the day I made it, the day you collected it, and the flavor I baked for you. So it's always written in this book. That is the purpose of this book. I love this book so much. Don't think you're doing so much. You can never do enough to be safe in this abroad. So you have to secure and guard yourself. So she saw this and she was blown off her feet. She was blown, and I was like, wow, I've done something. And then that brings me to this. When she saw this, she was like, oh wow, you're using the safer food, better business for caterers. Yes, I filled this book thanks to my friend Sheye, my girl Sheye, Lace Cake and More. She was there for me because when I saw this book, I was confused. I'm not cooking food now. Why am I buying this book? But everybody said, oh, the inspectors are usually impressed when they see that you're using this book. So I bought it. I was confused on how to fill it. In all honesty, is a lot. I bought it on Amazon, but I heard that you can print it. If you have a printer, you can print it online for free. But I bought it on Amazon. And it's going to the first page. The date that you completed this pack is written there. Most of the things in this book is not relevant to you. Where it's not relevant, you can just skip through. So you see hygiene rating 5.4. I'm not going to go into this book details, but you see, it shows what you do before you start your shift. You wear clean clothes, the way you're supposed to clean your hands. These are things you need to take note of. And then cross-contamination, this page is important you fill it. So it's going to ask you, describe your, what do I wear? I wrote it here. I wear clean jeans, clean t-shirts, apron, and hairnets. What kind of apron do I wear? I wear cotton. What tasks do I use them for? I use them for baking, cake decorating, and I change when it's necessary. So all these things I feel, are all your staff trained to wash their hands? Yes. Do you have staff wear clean clothes? Yes, I do. Do you have staff change clothes before starting work? Yes, I do. So everything is listed here. Fitness for work. When people, like my instructor actually asked me, when I'm sick, what do? I don't work for at least 2 days after I've stopped seeing the symptoms to the sickness. So everything is here. If I cut my hand, what do? I have a first aid kit that has bandage and gloves. So if I have a cut, I clean the surface of the wound and then I put bandage and I wear my glove and I continue my work. So I have this. And where do you keep your clean uniform? I fold them in a clean drawer in the kitchen. These are things you need to know. How do you clean the materials I use in cleaning? I take them. I use the blue cloth. I use this blue tissue rolls. I use the white tissue rolls. So this book is a lot. You have to go through it. The things that are not relevant to you, you leave them blank. Like for example, separating food. I really don't cook food, so I just wrote it's not applied to me. What's the name? It's not applicable to me. Any. This place is not applicable to me. And then food allergies. This is where it's going to ask you, how do you prepare food for allergenic customers? And I wrote it clearly here. I do not prepare food for allergic customers. And storage, how do you store food once open? I store them in a sealed bag and container, label with the date and store the dates they are opened, and I store them appropriately. So this is about that. And then physical and chemical contamination, pest control. How do you check for pests? I check for pests daily before I start. Do you employ pest control contractor? I haven't, but I will if it is necessary. How do you check for deliveries? That's the things they deliver to me. For example, if I bought a pack on Amazon, how do I check? I open each of those boxes carefully and I check, because some of these boxes might come with pests and all that, so I check them. For example, if you bought, for example, flour or sugar and it's being delivered to you, you have to check if it came with any hands, any insects in it. And how often do you check external areas like my garden, all these places? I check them daily. That's the truth. So you have to check for pests. Maintenance, I check all my baking and equipment. So it's going to ask you, like some of your spatulas, if it's broken, do you check, do you dispose them? So I check my probe, do I calibrate monthly? Is my oven working perfectly? Is any of my bowls, mixing bowl, broken? You check. I check them regularly and I noted it here. Then cleaning. So I said I was not going to go through this book in details, but it's interesting. So how do I wash my hands? It is here. They've listed it here. Then it asks, do you use liquid soap to wash your hands? Yes, I do. Do you use disposable towels? I tick details. Yes, I do. Do you use antibacterial soap which meets the BSEN 1799? Yes, I do. So I use that. And cleaning effectively. Do you clean and disinfect? The two-stage cleaning. I do the two-stage cleaning, and that's what I explained in my opening check, that I first clean with warm clothes. I remove any food dirt on the table. That's the first stage of cleaning. Then the second stage of cleaning, I spray with disinfectant and I leave for 5 minutes and then I wipe off to dry naturally. That is my two-stage cleaning. Yes, I do. Have your staff been trained on how to complete the two-stage cleaning? Yes, It's not applicable to me. I wrote it here because I don't have staff. So I am the staff and I have been trained and I do it. When do you keep information to confirm that your disinfectants, that's the disinfectant I used to spray my surface, meets the the BSEN 1276 or BSEN 13697 standard. It is always on the label of this product. So it is there. And so it goes on and on and on. This book is a lot. I'm sorry, but we can't go through it. But get this book. I've done my part, and you can see the places that are not applicable to you. Just write not applicable and move on to answer the ones that are applicable to you till you get to the end, and it's going to ask you if you did all the session, the date you did it, and then you sign the ones that are not applicable to you, like chilling. You write not applicable. You didn't do the training because it is not applicable to you. And the ones that are applicable to you that you went through, you write the date you did them and you sign. And that brings us to the end of this book. So it's not a lot. These are things I did and I followed religiously to be able to get my 5-star. So upon going through this book with me, she went through this book with the inspection was about for an hour, and I can tell you that 50 minutes out of that 60 minutes was done in my sitting room with all these things I just went through with you guys. The time she spent in my kitchen was not up to 5 minutes, and basically what she asked me was to see my fridge. So I have a separate fridge for my bakery, right? And I have a first aid box. Let me show you. Remember, I filled in this book that is how I treat my cuts. So I have a first aid box that contains bandage, gloves, and all that. So this is an evidence. She didn't ask anyways, but in case your own inspector asks, I have the evidence that what I filled in this book, I didn't just feel, I actually do. So the evidence is there. And it's full everywhere. So like I said, the evidence are there. You have filled in your book that these are the things you do. So just in case she asked, my own inspector was already blown away by, she was already impressed by my paperwork. And she was impressed by the environment when she came in. Everywhere was, go on my Instagram page, you will see how I cleaned. Like I dedicated like 2 days. I cleaned, I arranged everything. So she was already blown away upon entering this place. Everywhere was, and so she didn't do much of checking if what I was saying was true. But in case you just decide to change, this is my disinfectant, the ones I used to clean the floor, and it complies with the, where is it listed again? The BSEN 1276. It is always listed at the back here. So whichever brand, I bought mine from Tesco, whichever brand you choose to buy, just make sure it complies with the BSEN 1276. That's for my disinfectants. And then this is the disinfectant I use in spraying the surface. I bought this one from Howdy. You can get from any of these stores really. And like I said, the most important thing is checking the back and seeing if it complies with the BSEN 1276, which is listed here. So this is good, and that's what I use. I have my hairnet. I use, like I said, I already wrote it here. I use my apron. I have a branded apron I use, and then when I'm baking, I just put on a clean clothes and a jeans. I have my gloves that I use. This really, I don't know, Instagram police, I don't know who told you people that glove is the way to keep safe. I wear this glove to protect my hand from the food, not the other way around. I'm not protecting the food from my hand, because washing your hands is the most important thing. It is like the most important aspect. Even where I work in a very big bakery. We produce thousands of products per day. We are not allowed to wear gloves, except you have a cut on your hand. That is when you wear gloves. The most important thing is keeping your hand clean. You have to keep washing your hand at every point in time. If you're moving from tax A to tax B, you have to wash your hand. An inspector that knows well will not ask you, do you wear glove to work? Nobody is expecting you to wear glove to work. So the reason why I wear my glove is maybe I have a cut and then I've used bandage, and that's when I wear my glove. Otherwise, I wash my hands before I move from one task to another task as regular, as often as possible. So most times wearing a glove is not a way to protect your food from your hand. Rather, you are protecting your hand from the food. Yes, because it's the hand you are protecting when you're wearing this. So you don't want, maybe you're decorating and you have a cut, you don't want a buttercream to enter. Or otherwise, if you have no cut or you're not doing something sticky that you don't want your hands to be feeling sticky and all that, you should be washing your hands regularly. So that's what this is for. I got them on Amazon, by the way. I also got this label on Amazon. This is what I used to label my food for. This is my plain white organic flour, and I opened this on the 1st of June, and it's going to be used for 1 month. So by the 31st of June, it will be out of date. So this label, I got it on Amazon. That is what I used to put the opening dates for each of my products, the day I opened them and the day they're supposed to be used. So anything after that date, it has to be disposed. So this is why I got it on Amazon. And lastly, and most importantly, I still have a probe. I'll show you. It's not the last item. So I have this fridge thermometer. I got it on Amazon as well. I usually place it in my fridge. So this is what I use to check the temperature of my fridge at the beginning and at the end of every shift. And then lastly, my probe. So this is my probe. Yeah, I use it to sometimes check my fridge as well. I use it to check my fridge. I use it to check the temperature of whatever food I'm cooking. For example, if I'm baking vanilla cake, how do I know if it has gotten to the point of safety? So I just put this in, put it on. It has to be between 70, 80, 90. That's the safe point. And then I use this just to be sure that my food is well cooked and it's not undercooked. And this is what I use in checking that. I also use it to check my fridge as well. And this brings us to the end of this discussion. As you can see, it looks like you're doing a lot of things, but really you're not doing too much. To get this 5 is not magical. You have to put in the work. You have to have a system that works, that complies with what the inspector is expecting you to, do. It is achievable and it is not difficult. And once you have all this, the inspector is going to be impressed. I promise you. Of course, you have to clean your space and make sure that everywhere is well lit, everywhere is sparkling and all that. Really, I'm not going to say much on that because I did that, but surprisingly my inspector didn't even, the only thing she checked was she opened my fridge and checked if the temperature is correct, and then she asked for my food coloring, wanted to see if I buy them in UK and the ingredients that are involved, if they are safe to eat. That was all. Those were the 2 things she did in my kitchen. She didn't even open my drawer. She didn't even check the use by dates. She didn't do all of that because, of course, I think she was already blown away with my system from my paperwork. So guys, I expect you to go through this. Getting this is not magic. It is very easy. You just have to do your own part and leave the rest to God, right? And after doing that, of course, you've registered your business with what do they call it again? Company house. To get your council to inspect, you go to Food Standard Agency, their website. They are going to ask for your postcode, so they will automatically redirect you to your council, and then you can register on your council. Basically you're supposed to register at least 28 days before you start trading, but if you start trading, it's fine, just register. They'll reach out to you and you both will agree, because it's an own business. They're not just going to barge into your home, right? It's a own business. You might not be home, it might not be convenient for you. Like, they called me I think sometime in May, and then we fixed a date. We picked 2 weeks after because I was always at work, so I had to pick a day that I was off. Okay, so your inspector is going to call you and tell you, oh, you've registered this and this, where when is it convenient for you to have this inspection, and then you both will agree on when it's convenient for the 2 of you, and they'll come. And after that, you have this another thing. If you're registered as a limited liability company, you might want to open a business account. I think it is important to open a business account. Get yourself an accountant or use an accounting app. I use QuickBook, and start running your business. Basically, have a system that works for you and you'll be fine. Start little, guys. Start little. The humble beginnings are usually the best time. So guys, I hope I've been able to cover all your questions, because I've been getting a lot of questions on this 5-star rating. I just feel like I should keep showing you this 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. Thank you very much for staying with me on this episode. If I have helped you with this video, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Comment, and subscribe and like my video. Follow me on Instagram at Minutes by Macy, and on TikTok as well as Minutes by Macy. So guys, thank you very much. I hope you were able to get something. I'll be recording more and more videos to help upcoming bakers or people that are looking to set up a home bakery like mine, and I hope we're able to help each other. I love you all. Till next time. Bye.